Ladies and gents, welcome to the platform. Second time on the show. I've got Junior Taurus right here with me, bro. How you doing, man?
I'm nice. Yourself, my boy. What's up?
Monate Joe. The last time we spoke, it was during like the many lockdowns.
Mm,
The country was shut down and open, and I remember you were saying, for ish,
yeah,
there's a lot happening, but at least you're getting some work done.
yeah.
How has it been ever since?
Lockdown. I think lockdown changed a lot for a lot of people. I think for me personally also. Um, but also it's a good thing. It's a good thing. That you get to, I think, focus more on your craft, rather than everybody else's. Because at that time nobody was releasing anything. People wanted to drop music, but they couldn't drop music. So
Mm.
you as a producer, the only thing you could do is really focus on you and your next move and whatnot. So I think, yeah, things have been okay after lockdown. Everything has been back to normal now. But I think also there's a lot of people that didn't make it.
Mm.
you know,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are still in lockdown even now, especially artists, producers. Who we much rough.
What do you mean by that?
Meaning that they could not survive the financial repercussion of the lockdown.
Mm.
And it's not a light matter. Like a lot of people had invested so much in their craft that when there was no returns, they had no other plans. A lot of people gave up. Some people are now working 9 to 5s. I mean, it's a sad thing to see.
Mm. Yeah, man, yeah, you're right, but hopefully they'll come back because
Mm,
things are getting back to more to normal as you just stated.
mm,
And obviously we see the results of lockdown, from you
mm.
by the release of, Until September.
Yeah,
Um Before you get to the title, like the cover art looks it's interesting. There's a vehicle. I don't know if it's a car. What is that? What's happening there?
yeah. It's that. It looks like that. Telsa model
Yeah.
pickup truck. Yeah.
Yeah.
So not to dwell too much on the artwork as well, but basically what I'm trying to say is that until September, I will keep on chasing, this trend, and Amapiano, and but after that, I know I'm
Mm.
done.
Mm.
I'm done. So I'll be going back to music that I've worked on for more than 10 years. As when you produce something, there are certain elements of, or there are there's sometimes that you might have an idea and it's such a dope idea, but you can't finish it.
Mm.
I have so many songs like that,
Mm.
amazing songs, but I know I cannot finish them alone.
Mm.
So until September, I'll be working on those songs,
Mm.
and from September, immediately when September hits, I'm gonna be dropping an album. And funny enough, with all the years that I've been in the industry, it's only my second solo studio album
Mm.
that's gonna be titled Memoirs. Like it's basically like a recollection, musical recollection of what I've learned, of my what I've dropped. Everything that I've ever picked up is going to go to that album. So yeah, until September is basically saying, nah, I'm still here. I'm still doing these sort of Amapiano fusion between Amapiano and this, and I'm
Yeah.
still doing them. But up until September, from September, I'll be dropping music that I fell in love with. Like the reason for me to start wanting to produce music, I'll be going back to that type of music.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. And why specifically these four tracks?
Yo, and it was such a difficult choice for me, to choose. Like it was the most difficult choice I've ever had to,
Mm.
but I did it. Um, okay, this is the criteria that I chose. I wanted to have two songs in there that spoke to where I am going.
Mm.
And I think the first two songs featuring Sinetemba,
Mm.
they speak to where I want to go.
Mm.
They're very deep, even though they change a lot, but
Mm.
musically they are very deep and they're very mellow. If you
Mm.
listen to them, that is a place where there are certain elements in those songs that I'll be using for the
Mm.
future,
Mhm.
and certain elements that I will not. But it's almost on the way there.
Oh.
And I wanted to have a song in there for the streets,
Mm.
because I am also a product of the streets. If you listen to, if you go back enough in my music, you will know that I'm a product. I've been I've been stealing certain things from the streets, and
Yeah.
we're all a product of the streets somehow.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have another song, which is until the end of time is an idea or there's a sound within that song that could possibly, if you really listen to it properly, could possibly end up being an international sound. Amapiano can change and become that.
Yeah.
So I'm basically like, having, it's like a three-way path, and I'm saying that, these are the three ways that right now up until September I can go either way, and I can steal from every single one of them and create something after September.
So basically, what you're saying is that like the Marvel movies, strategy. If you listen to the EP, the album will make sense. Is that what you say?
Yeah, no, actually, the album itself, damn, bro, like that album, it comes after a very specific question that somebody asked me. They're like, yo, so if there's one thing that you would like to be remembered for musically, what would it be? For the longest time that I couldn't answer that question. I just answered because it's a question, but I didn't mean anything that I said to that person that asked me. I could not answer that question. And that question also steered me to stop chasing trends, to stop wanting to make music like this because all the cool kids are listening to it, or everybody's messing around, so I need to make this as well. So I think that question forced me to stop and say, listen, what is it that you would be remembered for? And I couldn't answer it. So I made a track called the Memoirs,
Okay.
which is an answer to that woman. Pella, like memoirs is like a recollection of your. For me personally, it's a recollection of my musical journey, right? So if somebody had to ask me, what would you be remembered for? What is the best song you've ever done? I can now answer and point it to that song, and I'd be like, listen to that song. That song is like 17 minutes long, right?
Wow.
And at the end of the song, I actually speak on like my journey
Wow.
in music, what
Yeah.
happened, how it started. I speak about everything, and that is the answer. If you listen to the song, you will have that answer. That okay, this is the greatest song that Junior Taurus has ever made. You know what I mean? So yeah, to put it simply, I think as much as I've just released this EP now, and it's a body of work that I'm really proud of, especially when it comes to production. I feel like if you listen to some of those songs, production wise, like bro, especially engineering wise,
Yeah.
I took time to engineer those songs to sound a certain way or to hit you in a certain way. So I'm very proud of the body of work, but also it's like the name of it. Until September, I wanted to raise more questions than answers so that I can put a bigger spotlight on the album that's coming in September.
And obviously, I've never heard of a song that's like 17 minutes long. I know Kelvin Momo has lengthy songs.
Here's a track. Here's a track.
Yeah. So you're breaking all the rules. Like why? Did you? And I'm asking this because previously I know with like music labels and all that, the reason why a song, for example, on radio they'll say no, we want a 3.5 minute song is because they need to make space for ads. So when you break these rules, what's the conversation like between you and your team?
Yeah, and also basically this is a conversation between me and myself to say Leo, look, you've been in the industry for such a long time. Why are you still chasing? Why are you still why would you want to listen to a song and say, yo, I need to make a song like that because that is the next thing, or that is what's happening. Why am I doing that? I need to stop, right? And the first rule is, okay, for me personally, the first rule is not doing anything familiar to Amapiano. You know what I mean? It will always lead to Amapiano. Even look, those songs can be played by Amapiano DJs as well. Like the songs that I'm gonna drop, they can be played by Amapiano DJs. They have elements, but the holistic feel of it is that I'm taking everything that I've ever learned in all the years that I've been in music, and I'm putting it into one song. And that one particular song, the reason why it's so long is it it's like my life, my musical life in one. So there are bits and parts of it that change. So I'm basically telling a story of how I came out. I was not always technical when I came out. you know.
Mm.
And that's why in the beginning of the song, it's just monotonous. It goes and then it changes into something else. It changes into something else, and there's a breaking point in the song that it just stops and it plays a very technical section that, honestly speaking, there's a guy that helped me with it. His name is Kutana, dope pianist. It also took him a long time just to create that section. That section is 8 bars, dog. It ends so quickly.
Wow.
But when you listen to it musically, there's not a lot of people that can recreate it. So that for me is like a breaking point in my life where I just had to stop and say, "But what am I doing?" You know, this is a God-given talent to me. Why am I still making music like this? Why can't why can't you make music that makes you happy in your soul? Music that you can play as a DJ. Because sometimes I'll be producing songs and I can't even DJ them because I feel like it's not up to standard. You know what I mean? So why aren't I making music like that? You know?
Wow.
So to be in the industry for such a long time and to realize something so simple, dog, I really can't believe it. But anyway, I'm here now, and that song will explain a lot of things, especially in my musical journey. And it's that long because that's how long I've been in the industry as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the changes in it, you'll feel like I'm trying to tell you something that now I'm finally here.
Yeah.
And when the song comes back from the break, you will know that I know something. Manufactured. This is
Yeah.
exactly what he was meant to do. You know? Yeah.
Wow, I love how you just, painted a picture, and I can't wait to hear it. Sounds like a masterpiece. So obviously putting a project like this together, you didn't just work with anyone, I assume. So tell me about, the collaborations, because this is such an important part of art for you.
I think for me personally, it was more important for me to collaborate with musicians than anything else. Like people that you'll never even hear or that you'll never know, but they are top musicians. They're very talented in whether he's a pianist or whether he's a guitarist. And you know what? It's very important for me to work with pure musicians that understand what I'm trying to do, because the whole album is very technical. So I needed to work with people that are technical, people that are very, very, very technical. You know what I mean? And the majority of the songs are songs that I started and I had left. So I started working on them again, and I just needed somebody to help me finish them because I could not finish them in the first place. So when you work with musicians, it's somebody that has a different perspective of what you're trying to do. You play them how far you are, and they're like, "Oh wow, this is amazing. This is what I can add." And you also channel it as a producer. You say, "No, this has to be like this, and this has to be like." So I worked with a lot of musicians more than artists in this project. If that makes sense. I didn't work with a lot of artists, but I worked with a lot of musicians because I was trying to finally get to a place where I know like my musical side wants to be. It wants to be in that musical realm where nobody can actually recreate. Because sometimes with Amapiano, I mean, there's a certain sound and everybody's using this sound. Maybe you might even you personally might not know it, but everybody can hear that in the beginning of these songs they have this. It's like a string. Now everybody goes and asks, "Hey, your string is sick. Now everybody knows how to do the string. Everybody puts it on the song. Then the next thing, there's a log drum. This log drum sounds like this, and now everybody's asking. And then somebody sends you a preset of this log drum. You share it with me. I shared with my friend. Everybody has the same drum. I mean, the same bass. So now with the music that I'm trying to do is that you cannot recreate it. Not even on your happiest day. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't recreate. Even if you get proper musicians in to recreate it, they will fail. You know what I
Like,
mean?
why do you?
Timeless music, my boy.
I hear you now, but I'm trying to figure out, because obviously, when you use like a program like maybe Fruity Loops, I don't know
Yeah.
what you use.
Yeah.
It's there somewhere, right?
Yes,
So how did
yes.
you? How were you able to create like
Yeah.
something that's not there?
The sound is there. The sound is there, but the sonics are not there. You see, the problem with producers that we are too comfortable sometimes. You get a sound that Fruity Loop has made for their platform, and everybody can get that sound. Everybody can make that sound. But it's what you do when you do post production. How do you change that sound to make it sound different? It might be the same sound that we're using, but mine will always sound different because I go inside the program and I change all the knobs. I change all the filters. I make it sound like it's something totally different. So you can't get it. But also the way that it's played, the way that it's approached, it's something totally different. You might not be able to approach music like that. I personally sometimes cannot approach music like that. That's why you go for help and you get people that and you tell them, listen, want you to approach it in this way.
Mm.
And when that person is very technical, they'll be able to approach it in that way. You know what I mean? So, for instance, I'm gonna speak about something that you might not understand, but you might have like normal chords. Let's say, for instance, it's like a um normal 4 count type chords, like a normal chord progression that is very simple, right? And you get a musician to play over your chords, to play different inversions of the very same chords that you're playing. So he's playing the very same sound, but in a different inversion. So now every single chord has like every single chord you can play basically one chord in 3 different ways. It has like three different inversions, but it's the same chord. It's the same chord. It's just that instead of playing this note there, you can play it here, but it will be the same chord. It sounds different, but it's the same principle. So you know what I mean. So sometimes you do something like that to make it sound different, and also you know that not a lot of people might approach music like that. People are just gonna play what they hear, but they might not necessarily think about, I don't know, let's actually play this in a different inversion. No, producers just want to get it done. If it sounds dope to them, it sounds dope. So for me, I wanted it to sound dope, but I also wanted to be technical, to show the length of time that I've been in the industry. You know what I mean?
No, I get you. And then now, so who would you share, your pecs with? Like if someone comes to you and say, I know you said that you're not gonna share, but I'm just curious if maybe you like the lock drum, that sound revolutionized Amapiano.
Yeah.
And if other guys are like in your circle are like, look, man, we like what you did with this note or with this beat. Please share.
I'm not sharing anything with anybody going forward. I'm not sharing anything, but the packs, the packs that I use, that's the packs that everybody has. You see, Amapiano is just the unfortunate thing about Amapiano. Everybody's using the same packs. We are all using the same packs. I think maybe except for my producer. My producer has the sound that he uses is just crazy. I don't know where the hell he gets some of these packs. Like some of these percussions, some of these loops. I don't know where the guy gets them. But obviously, with me, I have a friend of mine that also collects a lot of loops, a lot of percussions. You know, you need to subscribe to like certain platforms that can give you those type of loops, like Splice and all of these softwares. So everybody sometimes has their own job to do within this whole team, you know. So I get that from him, and I know that it's something new that nobody has, and I will use it. You know what I mean? But in most cases, the kick that I use is a kick that everybody has that does Amapiano. But it's how I use it. You know what I mean? That snare that you hear, you know, you it's there on your packs. You can access it at any time. You know, but it's what you do with it. What frequency do you cut off to make it sound like that? Make it sound the way that I'm making it sound. You know what I mean? So they're like little things, dog, that you just have to do to make yourself stand out. You know?
Yeah, no, what you guys do, it's science, man. It's magic because you're experimenting, you're putting stuff together, and you'll never know what's gonna come out of it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the album. The EP came out last week, I think, and yeah, I can't wait for it to drop. So my last question for you is that after this project drops, what are you hoping to achieve in terms of like you and your fans and the industry in general?
Yeah, it's a crazy question because I don't want to set myself up for we all have aspirations and we wish something could go this way, but it doesn't always happen that way. You know what I mean? And I've learned from experience to not put expectations before, especially music. Music is very subjective, though. It's all about how people hear it, how people perceive it. I might think that it's the most amazing thing I've ever done, but you might think, "Oh, substandard. I've heard that before." So I cannot wish for something to happen over a song or over a project. But I would honestly, the only thing that I would hope for to happen before that time or by that time is to have grown my audience enough for more people to listen to hear what I'm gonna drop. I think it's very important for me to have everybody hear it. You might not like it, but you heard it. You know, that's very important to me because this type of music is it's like late bloomers.
Mm.
They will not, it's not that type of song, it's a street hit. You drop it now, everybody's playing it now. No,
Mm.
they take time,
Mm.
and you need to be very patient with the type of music, and but the nice thing about the music that I'm gonna drop is that it lasts longer.
Mm.
There might be late bloomers, but they last longer.
Mm.
And it's the type of music it's for almost every type of occasion, you
Mm.
know?
Mm.
And I think that is something that has been missing for a long time. I was speaking to some other brewer of mine the other day, and I'm like, do you realize that songs that we called old school, old school music, those songs, they are all international songs. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Abo
Yeah.
Touch the
Old school
Sky,
house. Yeah.
Abo, yeah.
Mm.
None of them were produced in South Africa, but we consumed them like, bro, they were. I remember there was a time where all of those songs used to be like big songs, and they still are now. If you go into a place and you're playing an old school side and you drop a Touch the Sky, people go crazy.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But none of those songs were ours. But and also they had their own market within the
Mm.
industry. During that time, there was Kwaito as well. There was
Mm.
Bakari that was playing, but they also had their own market.
Mm.
So I guess that's what I'm trying to do with this EP. Is just to create my own lane, But for me to be on that lane, obviously, I need people's ears.
Mm.
I don't want to make the type of music, but you must imagine working on a song for more than 10 years and not enough people hear it.
Yes.
That will mess me up. So
Yeah.
that's why I cannot put any expectations because if I say this and that doesn't happen, hey, it's gonna touch me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Gautwara, and thank you so much for your time. I'm looking forward to the project to drop, and we can't wait to hear it, man. Is there anything else that you just want to say to people out there that I might have missed?
Nah, I think you covered everything. The only thing is, whenever everybody drops, whoever it is, whether you know them or you don't know them, I think it's important to first of all, appreciate South African music and put it first. I think that's the greatest thing that Amapiano has done for our industry.
Mm.
They've highlighted our craft and they've put it in an international market where people now know that there's such a thing in South African. And it's really dope, man, to see because even now DJs, whenever you get into a club, every DJ is playing South African songs. You might not know them, but every single song that plays is a South African song that was done in South Africa by South Africans, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And I think people must just go out there and just support, just stream. You don't have to like it, but just go through the playlist. If you see a name you don't know, just play it. You have no idea. It might be something that you might have missed that is actually dope.
Mm.
Yeah.
And danko baba. Sharp, sharp, ne? Sharp, sharp.